Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. It is Thursday, the 29th of September, and it's time for another Leeds United update. We've got loads in today's show as well. We've got contract talks, we've got transfer links, we've got players past and present. We've got loads to cover. But before we do, please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck. I believe I'm self-made, yeah. So first of all, folks, good news on the horizon. Leeds United are set to begin talks with Jack Harrison over a new contract. Leeds are ready to reward him with a deal that reflects his status within the squad. We can all argue who's the number one player within this squad, who's the next jewel in the crown. You've got Melia, you've got Sinisteri, you've got Harrison. We've got selection headaches aplenty. The squad is looking Premier League now. You know, we've got strength in depth, strength in abundance. But one thing's for sure is we need to try and keep these players as best we can. Now, we know that Newcastle looked at Harrison and are still very much interested in him. And they're not likely to go away until the signature is on that dotted line when it comes to the signature and a new contract for Jack Harrison. Now, according to reports, Jack Harrison's on a miserly 15k a week. Now, I say that obviously it's all relative. For a footballer of Jack Harrison's quality in the Premier League, 15k a week is not a lot of money. You've got the likes of Junior Firpo, Adam Forshaw, even young Joffrey Gelhardt, all on more than him. Harrison is one of Marsh's key players. So for me, he'd be looking at least tripling that. You're talking 40, 45k a week for Jack Harrison, at least, I believe. And with Newcastle knocking at the door, it gives him more bargaining chips for a new deal. And listen, I wouldn't ever dissuade him from doing that. He deserves it. He deserves it and should have more parity with the rest of his, colleagues within this Leeds United squad. And it's just good that Leeds United are ready to put him on a new deal. Let's protect our best assets as well, because we had to cut down prices really for the likes of Calvin and Rafinha due to their contract situation. So while there's an opportunity to do it, get it done. Now, if you'd have been watching my videos over the last couple of days, you'll know I was very excited by the potential signing of Christian Pulisic, another one from that American conglomerate. Let's complete it. Let's complete the set. However, he's been doing an interview and was asked about him potentially leaving Chelsea in January. And he said, look, I'm feeling good going back. I have a fresh start now. I'm excited to play for a new manager. Really looking forward to it. I just have to prove myself as everyone else does. Now, of course, he's not going to come out and say, yeah, can't really be bothered going back to Chelsea, Graham Potter, etc., etc. But I understand why he's saying this. But I still feel there is an opportunity for us to go and get Christian Pulisic signed. Fingers crossed, because for me, just even from a commercial standpoint, it would do huge for the club as well. But he is a talented player. Now, we do have players in abundance in them positions that Christian Pulisic likes to operate. But he's a level up. Let's not forget this. Yeah, he hasn't had the best time at Chelsea, but who really does? I mean, this is the club that got rid of Mo Salah. This is the club that got rid of Kevin De Bruyne. They don't know a good player if it slapped him in the face, if we're being totally honest. So if Pulisic wants a new venture, then come on over to the mighty white. Now, a new name that I haven't heard up until this point is left-back from the Italian under-21 side, Fabiano Parisi. His agent's been speaking and claimed that Leeds United, Nice and several Serie A clubs showed an interest in him during the summer transfer window. And although he has signed a new deal till 2025, he believes he will move on from Empoli in the coming months. Maybe in January. He plays as a left-back, can play centre midfield and left midfield as well. But predominantly, his main position is a left-back. He's only 21, but has played 52 times for Empoli across Serie B and Serie A. So he does have a lot of experience for his tender age. And we know Leeds United, even if we're not looking at a potential first-team replacement for Junior Firpo, we still need another left-back in the door. We don't even have one at under-21s level. You've got Alfie McCalmont playing there, who is basically a deep-line midfielder. So that needs to be resolved. And it's good. Listen, it may just be agent talk. Mario Guffredi, I think it is. But ultimately, Leeds United need a left-back. Maybe agents are aware of that. Of course they are. I'm aware of it. And I'm just a guy sat in this room doing a video. So if agents are going to tout left backs about, I understand it. But if there is genuine interest there, then let's go and do that. We do need a left back at this football club. Look, Firpo may come back against Villa at the weekend and absolutely smash it, and I hope he does. But history's told us it's not going to happen, and he gets injured a lot. So in January, it's an area we need to address. We're now going to talk about another youngster, an exciting youngster, Lewis Perry. He is only 15-year-old, right? 15-year-old. But it's been reported that Leeds United are after the Scotland Youth International. He's been watched by plenty Premier League clubs in the recent Scotland under-16 clash against Denmark. He is a rising teenage striker. And listen, Aberdeen have a good history of growing young talents in that Scotland setup. Calvin Ramsey was one that we were close to signing that made his way to Liverpool during the summer. He is only 15-year-old. Apparently Fulham and Brighton are also tracking him. And listen, Brighton have a great scouting network as well. You just have to look at some of the players they bring in. So Lewis Perry could be one that we, could look at. Of course, we were linked with previously the guy from Stoke. I believe it was Tesgel. I love that Leeds United are continuously scouring the market across the UK, across Europe for these next players. And look, we've brought one in, for example, like Sonny Perkins. You know what I mean? Look, he can't stop scoring. It's all about the future for Leeds United and producing that next talent. That's the sort of route that we're going down. And I'm okay with that, because when these players do break in, and they smash it, they light it up. Victor Orta's already spoken about breaking into that top six being nigh on impossible. But if you can produce players that can take you to that next level, and even if they do have to move in at some point, you're going to command a big transfer fee for players like this that have such a good standing in the game at such a young age. If they reach the heights they're supposed to, then it can only prove dividends for Leeds United. So Lewis Perry, one to watch out on for. I also spoke about Daichi Kamada the other day as well, of course, currently playing at Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, smashing it there, played really well on their hunt to European glory. He has a contract situation that may be running down. Doesn't look like he's going to sign a new deal. And now Everton have also been linked with a move for him. It's been reported over in Germany that the Toffees are keen on snapping him up in January. And of course, you'll be able to get him at a cut down price due to the issues with his contract. So one to keep an eye on. Remember, I keep mentioning about this commercial standpoint, but Kamada is a Japanese international that would do loads for the club as well. And if you can get a player of his quality on a cut down price, then I think we should be challenging Everton for the signing of Daichi Kamada. Another name as well that's going to be continuously linked now to Leeds United until he actually moves on from PSV is, of course, Cody Gakpo. And it's been reported by none other than Fabrizio Romano that Leeds United could be set to miss out on the signing of Cody Gakpo. Tell me something I don't know, because apparently our rivals from across the Pennines, Manchester United, are still interested in him. Of course, they were looking at him as an option instead of Anthony. They got Anthony deal done, but the way that Gakpo's continued to improve, you can understand why a top club would think, you know what, he's another great option to have, even if off the bench. Of course, he would like to move to Manchester United. As much as I dislike them, they are a huge football club. I just don't see Leeds United being able to get that one done. And if it's not Man United, it will be another team that's operating at the upper echelons of their division, competing for Champions League places, etc. Now, bringing it back to a current player at Leeds United who I believe will go on to play in the Champions League, it is, of course, Ilya Melia. We spoke just the other day about Tottenham Hotspur being big on him and looking for a long-term replacement for Hugo Lloris. However, it's been reported now in London that they have begun that search for that, person to take over Hugo Lloris. And Spurs and Paratici are apparently looking at Atletico Madrid goalkeeper Jan Oblak as being the guy to take over from Hugo Lloris. Now, Jan Oblak is 29, so if they're looking for a younger option, yes, he is younger than Hugo Lloris. I think in any other position, I would say this doesn't make sense because you're looking for someone for the future, but goalkeepers these days can go on to about 35. So it looks like Jan Oblak is their primary target. I'm happy about this because, of course, I want to keep Melia as often as possible, but I do think there will come a time when he will move on. Another player who potentially could move on in seasons in the future because of how good he is Luis Sinisterra. Luis Sinisterra, just on him, has been absolutely smashing it. He has now scored 6 goals in his last 6 appearances for club and country. We were talking about it yesterday on the midweek fix. Does he start? Does he have to start just because of the hot form he's in? Who's he going to usurp in that current squad? Does Harrison come out? Does Aronson come out? Does Rodrigo play, etc.? There's loads of different permutations, but it's a good thing to have. But Luis Sinisterra on international duty came on at half-time and scored twice in 7 minutes to level from a 2-0 deficit to make the game 2-all. He's arguably the best Colombian in the Premier League. Move over Luis Diaz, there is now Luis Sinisterra. Now, the reason I mention him just in the transfer chats, it's been reported over in Italy that AC Milan are still reportedly interested in him. It's according to Italian journalist Carlo Pellegatti, the Serie A giants AC Milan are still tracking him and still see them being able to do a deal in the future. For me, it won't be for a few seasons yet. Leeds United are in a much better position financially, and I don't see him staying for one season and moving on. But you can see him having that similar trajectory to what Rafinha has. You know, Rafinha came in, he got his international start, he started smashing it, he scored as well just on him. He scored a brace for Brazil the other night in their final game ahead of Qatar. I think if I was to pick a winner of the World Cup, it probably will be them. Him, Neymar, Jesus, all them guys, even Richarlison. I think Brazil are the team to beat. So big up to Rafinha as well, because I hope he smashes it. But he's having a similar sort of trajectory, so I do believe Louis will move on at some point. And the way that AC Milan sort of did us with the Charles de Ketelaere deal, I don't want him to go to Milan. I'm not Milan's best friend right now, so F off Milan. All right. Staying with the ex-pros of Leeds United as well, hats off to Fabian Delph, two-time Premier League winner. Fabian Delph obviously began his career at Leeds United, recently announced his retirement at 32. Yeah, two-time Premier League winner. Nice. And just to finish up, Graham Smith from the YEP released his average player ratings so far this season. Aronson and Ilian Meslier leading the charts with 7.7 overall, and Bamford currently at the bottom with only 5.8. I understand the Bamford one. As for Aronson and Meslier, yeah, I think they have been the two standouts. I think Jack Harrison just missed out on a 7. I think he should be up there potentially. And what are your thoughts on them player ratings? Who would be your best player of the season so far and your worst player? I think for me, my worst player is probably Diego Llorente, but I can understand he's had performances where they have been okay and Bamford hasn't really featured at all. But listen, that's it for your update on Thursday. There should be a live reaction to Jesse Marsh's press conference. However, that's going to be on Friday, and my uni hours mean that I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't finish uni on a Friday till 4 p.m. now. But when it's on a Thursday, you'll continue to have that. I will be doing FIFA 23 content on the channel now as well. If you want to join me for them live streams, please do. We'll have a Premier League preview out at the weekend and then watch-alongs over the weekend as well. So keep it locked at the Just Your Football Show, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.